Okay, I'm recording.
I don't have any snacks right now, but I could make up some stovetop popcorn.
Oh, I haven't had that in a long time. I used to love
Yeah,
that.
I've
Just don't do
been,
3 ounces again.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, I said 3 ounces, and I was like, okay, we'll follow this recipe. Look at 3 ounces. That doesn't look like it's a whole lot. It doesn't even fill the bottom of this bowl. And then it's like I've got a 16 like quart jumbo metal bowl, and it just nearly filled the whole thing.
That's awesome. Okay, so something that's come up to us is medics have been doing things that we really shouldn't be, because we're not cops. We're not supposed to subdue people. We're not supposed to do any of that. If there's a problem, we call the cops. People have been trying to defend people when they have guns pointed at them and someone's shooting at them. That's NBL. You're going to get points for that. And I'm tired of getting yelled at.
And we're just gonna start giving out strikes. OOC and IC if it carries on, because Kara shouldn't be yelled at it for it.
I just, I know that not everybody's doing it, and I know no one has the intention of doing anything wrong. I know that, things can get kind of hairy, and it's not always easy to know what to do. But I mean, it's okay for you to defend yourself. Like, if you are going to be harmed on your person and you have no other choice. But that taser is meant for murder kitties and nothing else.
Murder kitties and roleplay.
Yes. So, like, if you're going to use it as a prop for, like, the AED, you can do that. It just makes things, like, really dangerous. And, um, because not everybody knows when the right time to use those things is. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just that's how things happen. That's why we lost heart as a cert, is because people, even though they were trained, weren't using it properly. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to lose my taser.
I don't particularly want to lose
Sorry, Mom.
What's that?
it. Robert went, sorry, Mum. Robert knows. Robert knows.
Hey, I'm not mad. I probably sound mad, but I swear to God I'm not.
No, that's not good.
Okay. Um, the next point
Do you want me?
that I want to bring up is, go ahead.
Do you want me to do this one? So you're not doing all the.
Yeah, you do this one.
Okay, so using medkits without the /me or explaining you're explaining to the person what you're doing. We as EMS are often some of the actual first people that people meet when they first come to the city. We are the ones that set the standard for roleplay. So we need to be looking at doing /me's or explaining to them this is medically what we're doing. Some of them are coming in and they're coming from servers that there is no medical roleplay from. Like some of this, I'm aware that some servers have police doing medical, or it's incredibly basic. We're very lucky to have an EMS like we do, and we need to make sure we're reinforcing that by not just using a med kit. We need to make sure that we are explaining to them in person, or we're doing /me, preferably both, so that we are talking and we're going through and modelling the role play that we would like in return. In terms of people using in the injured walk, some people are deciding to do that for roleplay purposes. For example, they could be. Sorry, LQ, I'm going to use you. LQ, Victor was in a car crash and decided that he was going to use the injured walk style for the next 2 days. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that they're injured, and it doesn't mean that you go up to them and you use the med kit. You can ask them whether they need treatment, but don't just go up and treat them willy-nilly. They can refuse medical help. And if you start using that medikit and they say, I don't need medical help, you've already breached that. Again, if it carries on, we could be looking at strikes, and it may not necessarily be IC that would give you that strike. We may discuss it as a command team that actually we're going to give you a strike out of character. And it's...
Well, it could be considered fail RP too.
And money hoarder.
If you want to get technical.
And looking at gaining money as well through a mechanic. Exploiting the mechanics that we have. So, let's keep not doing it, please. Thank you. Does Victor want to do the next one?
Any questions so far?
Yeah, people are getting off the train, more or less it's happening a lot. They come off the train and completely collapse. I don't know what, I think it's falling or something. Fall damage, is it?
They don't, you have to wait a while for, like, a couple of seconds for the world to actually spawn around you. And...
Yeah, but we get a lot of people down.
Mm-hmm.
But doing medical RP on them is obviously people are coming in and just basically wanting to jump straight in and start RPing. A lot of those people are very impatient. I've had a couple of people just be completely impatient and not wanting to do medical RP with that.
So you just need to set the standard that's literally going, well, you're injured, sir, we would love to help you, but if you refuse medical help at this time, we're not going to give you we're not going to give you medical help, so please be patient whilst we treat you and get you back on your feet. It's just being kind of civil and set and almost reinforcing this idea that we have medical in this RP. It's not
Well, yeah.
And actually,
it's a live environment. It's live as soon as you go into the server. So if they're not role-playing medical with you, then, I mean, you could do what Aya's talking about, and you can even talk to them in local out-of-character chat, and if that doesn't work, then report them.
Can I just read what Sully once did? So this was from 27th of February, and you can read it in the announcements. Sully actually made an announcement. When your character gets injured, we have a command that allows you to check your injuries, the /MI. This is also available for EMS and PD in the form of CI. This system was put in place so you and the person treating you know what type of injuries you have. We understand it is your right as the player to dictate how severe your injuries are to an extent, but saying you fell down or tripped on a banana peel to avoid medical RP when you clearly just got gunned down makes it not fun for the medics and the PD trying to treat your wound. Please keep medical roleplay in mind and understand medics do enjoy treating your wounds, but arriving at the scene to hear someone lie about their injuries when the medic can clearly see you've been shot at is bad. In the future, let's give the medics or PD a bit more terms of medical roleplay and not treat them like revive pods. We obviously don't want to hand out fail RP points for those people who fail to provide medical roleplay. Neglecting your injuries and failing to give RP to the medics or PD in terms of your injuries will result in a verbal warning. Multiple complaints could result in the potential warning points. Now, that understandably, that's talking about people who were saying, oh, I tripped over on my foot, when actually you've been gunned all the way down your arm. But it can be related back to the people just getting off the train going, well, I just being really rude and abrasive. They're fail RPing and they're avoiding the roleplay. And the same thing will...
Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind that if they are confused or they don't have the information, just try to nicely explain to them, like, what's going on, too,
Okay.
Sometimes they might not know.
Okay.
No, what's wrong?
It's something I can talk to you afterwards if that's all right.
Okay. All right, Victor, did you want to go over the third point?
Yeah. So our third point we have is the person that is in charge on shift is going to be the highest ranking EMS available at the time. This might not always be a member of command, but it helps to make sure that it's the most experienced person who's going to be in charge. So what that'll mean is if you're told by this individual to remain behind or be on standby, then you want to listen to them get staged up. This will also help us when we have incidences where we have um, a lot of people down to help orchestrate things. Uh, it'll be the responsibility of the highest ranking EMS on duty to be the one to give a code for in the event that all of the PD are down, like in what's common with our Pacific standards is there may be a lot of officers that get down and we have to make a judgment call on if it's safe for EMS to go in and start treating or not. There also may be times where the highest ranking EMS is not available to be on scene to take charge, and then will delegate who's in charge at that point, or the highest ranking on scene will be viewed as the person in charge. So a good example on that would be if Aya is off doing a mental re-eval out in Bolingbrook, and we've got a PSB, then she's likely going to continue staying with her patient and taking care of that if we've got other medics that can go on scene. And then whoever's the highest ranking beyond Aya would be the one on scene taking care of orchestrating triage. Uh, she finishes up from there and comes on scene. Then we roll that into her taking over at that point, or the highest ranking that comes on scene can become responsible for the scene and just communicate back and forth if that's being handed off. That's what we've got on those points. Does anybody have any questions?
Doesn't look like it. All right. Okay, so the next point we want to cover is if you're an FTO or a training assistant with a rookie, your priority is your rookie and training them. If you're with them, you need to stay with them. Don't leave them alone, especially on a scene. An exception could be made if it's a mass scene and you need to transport patients. If they're competent to drive, they can drive them to pillbox. They just can't do anything else. If you have a rookie and receive a call that's out in the water, for example, another medic can get it, you need to let the other medic get the call. Your rookie can't do water rescues. They can't propel. They can't fly the helicopter, so it doesn't even make sense for you to respond to it. If you are also FTOTA, you don't have to take a rookie on. It's okay for you to say, I'm not doing training right now. And the rookies have to accept that because it's okay, to just want to do you. Any questions?
Nope.
Doesn't look like it. Next one is pretty small. Don't attend a scene with police and that has a police presence until they've cleared it code 4 or the highest ranking EMS has cleared it code 4. Going back to the highest ranking, That doesn't mean that if you're in a heli that you can follow them around in a heli or a boat or a car. You can follow them around because you know they've got a patient and you know they're going to need help at some point. You still have to stage and you still have to wait for that code 4. Any questions on that? Victor, I think this one's yours.
Yep. All right. So, we want to make sure that what we're entering into the MDT is only things that you have seen or treated and can attest to. We do not want to have any notes from what Dr. Gomez does added into the notes because we can't, factually say, yes, this is what Dr. Gomez did because we're not Dr. Gomez. Also, make sure that you ask for an ID and when you're doing a medical report so you can make sure that it's being added to the correct individual at that time. I've seen it starting to happen a little bit more where people are either reusing names that have been previously used or like we've had 2 incidences lately with Deckard and not Deckard, Balder, and the other rookie cop, where somebody made an identically named character, and in the city logs, it just gives you a number next to a list of names. So if you just have their general name, and you're searching, it's not being done right away, you could potentially miss the correct name, and then we have to try and figure out which one it goes to. But definitely, we want to make sure we CYA, and we're only putting in MDT records for what we're doing for treating, and or things that we've seen, something that we have a medic that can attest to it. So if I'm on a scene and I treat a patient and I need to have Cletus transport for me, then I can tell Cletus, hey, I've cleaned the wounds, clotted him, he's on a spinal board, he's ready to go. And Cletus takes him to the hospital, and the patient says, hey, I want this on my medical record. Cletus can then say in his notes, Medic 5 treated on scene, cleaned the wounds, did this treatment, and I transported whatever Dr. Gomez did while he was, having bullets removed or whatever, we leave out.
Okay. Any questions? Nice. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is the DOA reports. Something that we're going to start working with PD High Command with is they would like more detail in our reports if possible. So a lot of them have been really basic. They want, I'm not sure how to explain it. They want, so like if someone is shot, what they would like to see is whether or not it's like a small or a large caliber. So like what type of injury was it? Like if you look at their like slash CI, it should say like what happened to them. It doesn't always though. But PD is supposed to give us a list of what's small and large caliber to make it easier for us, but we have to meet with them first. So there's a few things that might be added to that. And I don't know if Aya or Victor has more information on that than I do, but
This is probably more related to what's come up recently, just because of what I've been doing roleplay wise. So in terms of, we've got a few more serial killers into the server recently. I'm not one of them. Totally not.
Neither am I.
Totally not.
Totally not. I'm totally an innocent Moon. Totally innocent here. But they're looking for us to try and be as detailed as possible so that they know what kind of gun they're, like, maybe what kind of gun they're looking for, things like the clothing, because they may be looking at what affiliations that person has in terms of gangs. They're trying to increase their detective roleplay in a sense so that it helps with PD and it helps them enjoy it. But things like internal damage, we're looking at that, we're looking for the cause of death. They're just requesting that we just do a little bit. In terms of the opinion, that could necessarily not be as detailed because that's just what we've done in response to arriving on that, and they're not. Maybe, I don't know how interested they are in our actual opinion. I think that's something we're probably going to gather from when we meet with PD and the DOJ about how much they want us to put into our own opinion. But for now, let's do things like putting it in the clothing, putting in what personal items in their pocket, so checking what they actually have on them, but also doing a slash me, what do they have in their pockets.
So are we going through with a rob action to verify what's in their pockets, or are we...
I don't do that.
I don't do that. If
I ask. I say I looks in pockets for all belongings, and I put what they give me.
yeah, so
Okay, that's what I do.
So ask them. I mean, in terms of what they've actually got, if they put a life alert, they have a phone. If you found an ID, they have an ID. Even those basic things. But just things like their clothing as well. Like, make it personal to the person. They've role-played out this character. Even for half an hour. There's got to be some sort of backstory to it. But in terms of... it was a request from PD, and we'll start discussing how much detail they want in our death reports, and we'll get back. We'll keep an open conversation with you all about that.
So just to clarify, as of right now, we do not rob people while they're laying on the table down there while we're doing a DOA.
No.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's glad.
The next point
Glad.
I'll group into this too before I forget, just because it's similar.
Mm-hmm.
So we're also going to be talking with PD about scene management. So we have a better way of working together. So that way we're not being pushed out by PD and etc. You know, so it's easier and not so chaotic.
We'll talk about things like what happens on a scene and things like that. It's just so that we then have a firm understanding, perhaps some documentation. This is what we discussed, and this is what we're gonna do going forward. Do you want me to do the next point after? Number 10?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut anybody
no,
off. I hope I didn't.
No, it's fine. You've all really adapted well with the new train. We're going on to more positive things here. Negative is now finished. All adapted really well with the training and such, and we're looking at moving some of the things around, adding some new things. But at the moment, things are staying where they are, apart from the hunting driving, which we did move. We've moved that down to probationary. We'll watch how that's going. Some of the trainings are being done in our big, chunky, GTA vanilla roleplay ambulance. That's because for a couple of months, we want you to be able to handle those calls. For a couple of months, we actually had nothing but that standard ambulance. Even a high command.
Yep.
Even a high command had nothing. That's all we had for a couple of months. And we don't suspect that we're going to lose it, but we want you to be prepared just in case it does happen. We don't want you to get used to all these vehicles and be like, I don't know how to drive this one. I don't know how to get them up the middle of the hunting grounds. So that's something we are doing just to make sure you've got the basics down.
I do have a comment to add on that with the move. And it's something that we discovered when I was training Cletus. So that's kind of a good one for the TAs and and mainly the FTOs. But if you are in the hunting grounds and trying to drive up the side of the mountain on the direct path versus following the roads, if it is raining, you're not going to make it up the side. So don't attempt it because you'll just have the ambulance slide down the side of the mountain.
10 out of 10 can confirm.
All I have is a failing ambulance noise in my head now.
Oh God.
Particular clip of watching one of the bog standard ambulances with its noises falling into the void. It was not a good sound. Do you want to do point number 11, Victor?
Yeah. So we want to say for those of you that are choosing to spread out when we've got multiple EMS in the city, whether you're going up to the BCSO county or doing the lifeguard work, thank you very much. It helps to spread things out and bring RP to other parts of the server, so it's not just everybody, gathered around in one place. In characters, you can use the advertisements to let them know if you're out in Sandy or Polito. So that way it helps to drive the RP towards you as well. So if you're out there on the beach, hit them up with an advertisement, lifeguard on duty.
Or even if you're up at Sandy or Polito, say that you're up at Sandy and Polito, and yeah, that's where you're stationed. There's nothing stopping you from saying that's where you are at that moment in time.
And it's nothing that is set in stone mandatory that you have to put out an ad, but it does help to increase chances of roleplay.
And there will be people who want to go out to that as well. Do you want me to do the next point? Or do you want to do number 12, Gara?
I can do it.
Okay.
All right, so I are looking at doing more trainings for advanced certifications and making it more accessible to everybody, giving you more opportunities. Some of you are doing the advanced training with us one-to-one, which is great. I'm going to be taking charge of the doctor training, and the SOP is done as of today.
Woo!
Aya is taking charge of advanced mental health training and is working on a few things that would allow you the opportunity to gain experience and gain this cert. It's important to reiterate that these two advanced trainings are not for everyone. They require a certain mindset, but they're also not required for promotion. So it's not something that you have to do. They are for people that really know what they're doing and are willing to hone in on that specialization.
Any questions on that? No? Okay. Kara and I are both looking at making new positions for those not wanting to join the EMS as a medic, but as someone different. So we're looking at expanding to discuss about receptionist roles, for example, a receptionist at the front desk, which is a great way to help someone just starting on the server. If it's someone, so you can give them a little bit of a boost in money and kind of going, this is how the EMS works, things like that. Because so many people come to pillbox to get treated. If it's someone more experienced, then they can also help out with the new people who don't understand that they need to check in after respawning or check in with an EMS. They can explain there's an EMS on duty or a doctor on duty, and perhaps even showing how to put a life alert in. Unfortunately, at the moment, it does mean you're going to have to pay them out of your own paycheck. However, that's something we're looking at in the future, is looking at how we can help with that. But it's a great way to help sponsor those people into the server. Giving them a bit of a cash flow to go in. We're also looking at in the future at someone taking on the role of event coordinator, who will be dealing with taking event ideas, making sure you give credit where it's due, creating them, organizing them, and then running them. If you're interested in something like an event coordinator, just put forward your names, and we'll keep a record of this when we put it into place. But it's something we're looking at so that you can then be the event coordinator for the EMS and we're going to have this night and we're going to do this event for this. But yeah, so you can be the one that's sponsoring the receptionists, event things. If you've got ideas for events already, just put them forward. We'll put them into a page and we'll look at who wants to take that on and start working with that. Do you want to do number 4? Any questions on that one?
A cash ambulance was a really good idea. I think if he gets back on, he might need to bring that one back around for a little while.
The cash ambulance?
Yeah, so James did a thing for a little while where he would do kind of like cash cab, but cash ambulance. So as he was transporting patients to pillbox, he would ask them general questions, like trivia questions, and would give them cash if they got answers right.
Oh, that sounds a really cool idea, actually. That can be something that can be done even when it's not an event. Do you want to do number 14?
Yep. So we are going to be doing an increase to the number of medkits that you can carry while on duty. We're going to go from 4 medkits to 5, and the ibuprofen is going to increase to 6. If the city is on fire, the highest ranking EMS will be able to carry more, which will be up to 8. And that way they're doing the scene management. They're able to hand the medkits to those that are helping and treating and getting patients prepped for transport. We do still have the thing where characters are in a completely down state, so we can't just force them into the ambulance without it causing them to have really bad visual changes. It'll look like they're either still there or ambulance is driving all kinds of different directions. So we want to make sure that they're aware if you are helping somebody to their feet, but they're still needing medical treatment and transport to the hospital, that they're being told that, you're on a stretcher, we're getting you into the ambulance ready for transport. You're secured, strapped down to the spinal board. That way, if they go, oh, I'm on my feet, I'm going to start running, then they can be hit with a fail RP if, it's bad enough. And it's not just somebody who does a little bit of a walk or something.
All right.
Do you want me to do
Let's
the next
see.
point whilst you sort out
Sure.
that last one? I'm
You
gonna
can do
let
that.
I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
do that last one.
Aw.
So we've discussed this as high command, but we're now putting Victor, because Victor is now command, we're putting him in charge of the extra training. So that's things like the certifications, such as your flying, your scuba training, your advanced training, things like that. He will be in charge of the current FTOs, and in charge of doing training days, helping with training certifications, finding out so he will be the one you go to for the advanced certifications. Doesn't mean that Kara and I aren't going to be there. We're still going to be there. We'll still help with the training and everything else. But we're giving a role. We want to give Victor a position that he can perform to, and that you can go to him as well. Just so it helps ease the burden on us as we're taking control of 2 of the advanced certifications. So, and all these other certifications are in place and things like that. Victor is the person that's going to be helping with that. Any questions on that one?
Actually, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
How long do we wait until we ask for, like, to set up time for it? Like, is there a day limit of, like, this is how many days you should be paramedic 1 before you ask for the certifications?
I think that's down to the availability of the FTOs and things like that. Normally we would say just give it like a day or 2 before you start asking. But if, say, Victor's free that next day and he's like, you want to go and get that certification done? Fine, let's go and get that certification done. There's no harm in that. Just don't bug the FTOs until perhaps a couple of days after your promotion. And then it can be like, can I go and get this certification signed off? Just try not to bug them, because we are trying to we also do have lives elsewhere, I'm afraid, as well.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. Like, we all have lives.
So part of that also now falls into something else, because Victor may have to set up a few days like these. I can't think why, but we might have a few promotions. I also want to say that we have an amazing chief.
Oh.
And if you agree with me, please say so, because I feel she's awesome.
Out of
100%.
character,
You guys
Absolutely
are
amazing.
amazing.
out of
Awesome,
character,
yeah.
I know Kara from 2016. I know her for that long. Me and her used to be on a stream team together way back in the day. That's how I met her. And she's awesome. She's been awesome. Me and her played Dead by Daylight when it first came out together. So I know she's awesome.
And if at any point you feel you need to go and tell her that again, please do, because she deserves to hear it all the time. And I'm going to flatter you to no end, so there you go.
I'm blushing. Thank you.
She's
okay,
sexy
you guys ready
also.
for promotions? Oh god.
You're gonna break Kara.
You can't call her mom and sexy, okay? It doesn't work like that.
I think this is when we cut the recording.
No, this is staying on the recording.
Yep, it's all staying there.
Yep, it's all staying.
All right.
Just can't see chat at the moment.
So,
Aya's mom has got it going on.
The worst thing is that if Kara is Aya's mum and some of you are calling Aya your mum, that makes you thinking that your grandma is sexy.
Hell yeah.
That's a Papega.
all right, who's ready to get promoted?
Me.
All right.
Honestly,
So
my
I
opinion on
have
that.
2 recruits that
mean-
are being promoted. Alan Rhodes, you're going to be Medic 53. Donna Lawrence, you're going to be Medic 54. And then Chris Malinguini, you're going to be Medic 45. And Dave Richardson, you're going to be Medic 47.
Oh man, that means that when I have to do calls, I have to say 47 now. Dang it, I just got used to the 52.
I mean, you could stay as a probationary if you want.
No, I'm good. Like, I appreciate the promotion, but I'm actually, I knew it was kind of coming, but and here's my thing when it comes to role playing. Dave Richardson is me IRL. I don't care if I get promoted or unpromoted or whatever the word I'm trying to look for. I can't think of. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to have fun. Out of character, in character. I'm just doing my job.
So you're doing a good job. All right, I have one more. Ricky Fender, you are now Paramedic 2, Medic 25.
Yay.
Did
What
about
was the
that.
number again?
You're going to be Medic 25.
Sweet.
Which means you have to change
there
up
are
your roll
several
call.
of you. Yes,
Yeah.
there are several of you who are also really close to promotion. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep up the good work. You're all doing great. And thank you so much for all of the work you're putting in the city and being a presence in the city. I know that I enjoy it and a lot of other people enjoy it, and I appreciate you. Alan, you are 53.
Oh, wait, no, is he 53? He'll be 51.
51?
Yeah.
because Chris got promoted. So that would be him being Chris's old number.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Okay, just stagger it. So he'd be 51, and then Donna would be 52?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be correct.
I just need to move Chris over. So don't move them just yet. Don't touchy. Chris, why do you have such a complicated name? Last name.
Just call him Spaghetti.
That's where we go.
Or Weenie for short.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just going to do my roll call right now just so you can check that off.
Thank you, that is incredibly helpful. And yes, you did do your final review earlier, Alan, so...
I went ahead and did roll call.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any concerns or anything that you want to bring up before we call it?
No, but I will like to talk to you in private though.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to speak to you both if that's possible.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is fine with us. So we'll...
Oh,
Paul,
I'll get you those right now, Paul.
I forgot for half a second that Kara can give those perms. I was like, oh, you gotta just put it into the support chat.
It's okay.
We all have our potato moments.
So when you get into the server, if you've been promoted, just ask for... If Cara or myself aren't on duty, ask a staff member to do it. Otherwise, we'll change it once we get in.
Okay, you should have those tags now. Oh, okay, and I'll get you some.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask.
Is it something you want to ask in private, or?
No, adding new treatments. I believe me and Cara had spoke about this the other day. There isn't one for diabetes.
Uh,
I added it.
Did you? Ooh.
Yeah, I forgot. Kind of. Let me look at it real quick and I'll explain what I did.
oh, and something people may have noticed is that we do have a dangerous patient list now. It's only for when a medic's life has been threatened or robbed. Or they've been robbed of their things, so you just need to send it to Victor, Carl, myself, and if we feel that they need to go on the dangerous patient list, we'll put them there. We just need to see the reason for it.
Like a body cam or something like that.
Like a what?
A body cam.
Not even a body cam, just a reason. We don't need proof. That's
Okay.
the difference between the dangerous patient list and PD. Is that we don't need proof in order to do it.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna have the ability to capture their gameplay.
I just realized I have to go on the server and change my outfit.
Yep, all of our new probationaries are in green tops, black pants. The SOP should have the numbers for those. And our new paramedics for P1 will be in all blue. And our new P2 is going to get to switch back over to black pants.
Awesome.
Okay, so for high blood pressure or blood sugar, it's just a addition in starvation dehydration. It just says high blood pressure or blood sugar, and then like if it's above this amount, you give this, and it's really simple. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
If we've got any more ideas for like treatments and stuff, like it's something that just comes along, can we talk to you guys and maybe see about getting it added or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, Alan. Probationaries are solo cleared.
Yeah, you don't need an FTO for that.
Oh God.
Yep. So if you want to get out there and start helping people, just remember, keep an eye on the number of medics we've actually got on duty, because there's a lot of us now and a lot of like to get on duty. So we've got the limits set in the radio channel. If you're going on duty, make sure that you're joining the dispatch so we know that you're on duty.
Yeah, and if, just piggybacking on that, if I'm on duty and I've been on duty for a little while and we have, 5 or 6 medics and you want to get on duty, you can always DM me too. That's why I made Nash, so that if we have a lot of medics on, I can just hop on cop and still have fun.
Yeah.
Another note that I think we can bring up is, if it does get crazy and you need help, don't hesitate to ask either in OOC or in the group chat, to let us know that things are getting crazy. And don't feel that you're obligated to drop everything that you're doing to jump into the game and help out. If you're too tired to give proper treatments and proper medical role play, it's okay to say no. We do say, if it's needed, then please jump over as part of the form that we fill out on the application. but we don't want people to feel like they necessarily need to make the jump if they're about to pass out or just looking to have a very chill night of RP. We want you to be able to build those stories for your characters, not just be a medic that's on duty 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, I think we're all done.
We'll head up to your office, shall we, Kara?
Yeah, that works.
And people who need to talk, if you just hop into waiting for command, high command. We'll grab you when we can.
All right.
See y'all
Okay.
later.
See you later.
Thanks for being here,
Bye.
guys.
Yep, have a good one.